Hello, hello viewers. You are welcome to this week's edition of our program. That is a broad view, reaching you live from Heritage Television here in London. Today on this program, I'm having Mr. Ayo Ogundimu, all known as Citizen AY. Citizen AY is a social commentator and also a representative of the African Alliance, African Action Congress, that is AAC, one of the newly registered political party that actually participated in the this year's general election. Citizen AY, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Good, thanks. Good, thanks. We're good.
So
We're good.
thank you. How is the weather in London?
A bit chilly. A bit chilly, but we get by. We try and get by. Yeah.
Thank you, Citizen Ayo. Before we go straight to the issue of today, like the issue in the political scene in Nigeria is enormous. Now, we are coming close to the weekend, where we are going to have the gubernatorial and the House of Assembly election. But before we discuss that, I want us to look at the last general election. What is the position of, what is your view on the outcome of that result? What's your opinion?
We, as a party, as African Action Congress, on Sunday, by the way, Omo Elishore, I interviewed him live on Citizen AY, and one of the things he spoke about vehemently was the fact that the jury is definitely out on the conclusions of the election, and in fact, his words were, it wasn't an election, it was a selection. Those were his words, and I have to agree with him. If we think that that was an election, then I'm sorry, we are backing up the wrong tree, for want of a better word. It wasn't an election. It was something that was, the figures were cooked up. It's as simple as that. Anybody that's got 2 cents worth of thinking would realize that the figures that were produced both for APC and PDP were just figures drummed up. There was so many evidence of electoral malpractices, rigging, outright rigging, thuggery, you name it. It was all thrown in the pot, and then they suddenly came up with these figures: APC winning 15 million, PDP by 11 behind, 11 or whatever it was, and then to say that AAC having only 33,000. I mean, you can't. They are not credible figures. They are not. They simply are not.
Thank you very much indeed. I think that's your own view and the perspective which you have seen the last election, where it has been, the result have been declared, and the president had received series of congratulatory message, both within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, and these are the preparation. This is people have been, the electorate are preparing for another election on Saturday, precisely this weekend. What is the preparation of your party? Do you have any gubernatorial candidates?
We have quite a few. I know. We have right across the country, in many parts of the country. We have a governorship candidate in Lagos State, Oladeji Ibrahim. He's running for governorship of Lagos State. We have Eniola Martins. She's running for Ogun State. We have also Chidi Nwayanwu. He's running for the Enugu governorship. And here's a bit of breaking news, which I should tell you, actually, in case you might not be aware. We just received an endorsement from Amechi of the APC. He's endorsing our candidate. Let me just get the name right. 1 second, I'll just get it. He's declared the support for the Rivers State AAC governorship candidate, Awara Biokpomabo. That's the breaking news that we're getting right now, and that shows you the reach of AAC, to name a few. And of course, we have Laoshun in Oyo State. I'm just naming a few. There's quite a host of other House of Assembly candidates that we have. One of them I'll name quickly is Dr. Dr. Physio Lawal, is running for Etiostar 2 constituency in Lagos.
Okay, that's Lagos House of Assembly.
Yes, House of Assembly, yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes.
Having looking at this election, that is the gubernatorial election that has just been, although it has gone and gone. Within the preparation, when you look at the issue, your party was among one of the new registered political parties.
Indeed.
And your presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore, is a good friend and he's very popular. It's people that people are actually, the young ones are looking up to him. He's loved by all and sundry. But do you think the electorate, are they being sincere with you, with the support that he has enjoyed before the election?
I will have to say the electorate were very, very sincere. What you saw at his rallies, at his many meetings, town hall meetings and rallies, with he went across 34 states. Not the combined Buhari and Atiku didn't even manage 1/10 of what Sowore did. So he's a man of the people. He connects with them. Like I said again, I reiterate, the results that we are being told to accept is simply a figment of someone's imagination based on cooked up figures. The reality on the ground is that many of the voters wanted to vote. In fact, there are videos of voters wanting to vote, and then they're being sent to different voting.
Were they denied?
They were being sent. Oh, sorry, your card reader doesn't read it. Go to the next one, or go to. They were sent round and round and round. People, they got fed up. There were instances in Obasanjo, for example, in his polling area, they were delayed for about an hour to 2 before the time of the election. You know, these are not just, these are facts that are out there. And in other places, they didn't show up until much later on. And in thugs were sent in to scare away voters from voting. You know, and ballot boxes were burned. So all of this stuff, there is evidence all over the place. Now, yes, there's an argument to be made that we cannot contest this election and go, right, we don't agree with it. But we have to be realistic. Those who are in power, both APC and PDP, have this control on what is happening. And what we need to do is, bear in mind, like you said, we are barely 6 months old. So the reach of African Action Congress is something remarkable. By anyone's standard, by any standard you care to measure it. We reached many Nigerians. And the simple message that we were bringing is that, look, we are here to fix our nation. AAC is the party, Omoyele is the man, and Spicer Heat is the manifesto. Spicer Heat, quick rundown, is security, power, infrastructure, fighting corruption, economy, restructuring, health, education, agriculture, tourism, and culture. That's a 10-point plan that we came with. And we were saying we are not here to offer you money. We are here instead to fix your infrastructure, to make sure the things that you need to make your life run, i.e. key essentials, the top 2 ones, security. We have lack of security in Nigeria. 22,000 Nigerians died under this presidency of Buhari, and there's nothing that's been done to stem the bloodletting that is currently going on in Nigeria. So that's one of the things he wanted to look at. He wanted to make sure that we secure the borders, ensure that people felt safe and secure. Secondly, the police, 50% of our police are nothing but bag carriers for all of these officials who are assigned to all these House of Reps, House of Senators, ministers that have policemen that should be out on the streets making sure that the country is safe and secure. 50% of the 300,000 police officers we have, they are big bag handlers, carriers for these people. So that means that they are not able to do their work. And the remainder are either doing checkpoints to collect money from Nigerians. So there is no security, there's no order. So that is the one thing on security. On power, any economy that doesn't have power is simply not going to function. I have to say, with the in all honesty, any economic figures that we are looking at from both APC and PDP are just computer models. Because the reality on the ground is that when you have over 50 million Nigerians unemployed without being in work, whatever data you provide is skewed. It is not a reflection of the reality on the ground. And on top of it, to now have this issue where we are refining oil outside the country, bringing it back in and charging Nigerians you know, on top of the, as well as the subsidy, issue. Look, there are so many holes in our governance. And I'm not saying this, look, in effect, what I'm saying is we don't have a governance. Both APC and PDP combined, they're not interested in Nigerians. They are only interested in what they can do for their clique and their cabals and whatever. That's all they're interested in. They're not interested in the average life of an ordinary Nigerian. They're not interested in all of that.
Thank you, Siziwa. Having observed some of these issues that you believe that actually prevented your supporters by voting for your party, have you, has your party make any measure or perhaps, reporting to NEC or certain kind of enlightenment to your supporters?
I was interviewing Chidi Nwanyanwu on the night before, which would be a Monday night. I managed to so I got him onto Citizen AY, and I was interviewing him, and I asked him this very point. And one of the things that he talked about was really the best thing we can do is most of all, we want our supporters to be safe. So if you see something, rather than confront, we don't need heroes. Those are his words. We don't need you to be a hero. What we need you to be is to take your camera, take pictures where you see things going wrong, post it onto the AC website and all the various contacts that we have. Call somebody. Do not go and engage in physically getting involved and trying to be a hero. We don't need that. We just need you to record what is happening. And of course, mobilize people. And where we can, our polling agents to get down on the ground and actually record what they see. In most cases, we are asking for our supporters to just, when they finish their voting, to stay behind, take pictures, put it on their website, put it on AAC website, just so we can have records, real records. Unfortunately, what we're seeing in the just recent election that happened last week, one senator Senator Smart Ajaja, in his polling area, the result was not released on that day. So what that meant was they took the boxes away. Nobody was able to see the result. Everybody was not given the opportunity, and then suddenly they announced the result. You make of that what you will. So what we are saying to our supporters, vote by all means, go and cast your vote. Make sure, and where there's any issue where INEC official prevents you from voting, take a picture, take a video. Only do this. We want you safe. Above all, we want you safe. Because unfortunately, at least 200 Nigerians, in the last election just gone now, barely a week ago, at least 200 Nigerians died. And that should be a shame for this government. Because the number one job for any government is to protect the lives of the Nigerian citizens. And they are failing repeatedly at doing that. And I'm not saying that, look, I don't take any pleasure in saying this. I don't take any pleasure in saying this. But the fact of the matter is, when you have a governance that doesn't put the safety and security of Nigerians as its number one priority, as stated in the Constitution under Section 14(2)(b), what can you say on that?
Thank you, Zizi. Basically, let us quickly look at the whole election as I stated earlier. The election has come and has gone, and we are still preparing for another fourth one, which is the next one, which is going to come up this weekend. Having looked at every situation of the campaign, people had campaigned for the election, and it has already been common saying most of the time, accusation, allegation will be leveled against the politicians about vote buying, distributing of some basic
food, rice. I've got evidence. So I have evidence of that.
Having allegation being levied against politicians, did you think that the electorate too, did they share the blame of all this part of this allegation? Perhaps who exactly are to blame?
What I will say, the first thing I will say in this, if we are in truth if we're going to be honest with ourselves, our governance has a heck of a lot to answer for. Successive governments have engaged in keeping Nigerians in the dark. For starters, a simple thing I would just state. If I talk to Nigerians, I've done this exercise on Citizen AY. I have a group called Citizen AY Constitutional Awareness Action Group. And one of the first things that we do, we talk to Nigerians about, okay, do you know the Nigerian Constitution? And many Nigerians, they almost go, oh, no, I don't know that. I know it. They start singing the national anthem. No, I'm not talking about the anthem. I'm talking about the Nigerian Constitution, the one in which your government is, they have to follow that Constitution and be elected into office. So many, I would say easily, it is not by any stretch of imagination to say that barely 1% of Nigerians know their Constitution, know their rights as laid out in the Constitution. And the experiment that I've been doing in that group, where I've been reading the Constitution every Tuesday and Thursdays, has shown me that Nigerians are keen to get that information. So what I'm saying in a sense is that Nigerians are not able to make informed decisions because the government has engaged in keeping Nigerians in the dark, in that they are not encouraging Nigerians, they're not actively ensuring that Nigerians know their rights as laid down under the Constitution. So any decision that Nigerians make as an individual is going to be flawed. Many Nigerians will talk to you, they know about the Bible. They know about the Quran. They know all of these things. They will quote verses upon verses of either the Quran or the Bible. But when you ask them, do you know your rights? Nigerians don't know that. They don't even know what their right is as a Nigerian citizen. And that is the problem. So we need to go. I'm encouraging every Nigerian to get on board this journey with me and begin. Please join Citizen AY Constitutional Awareness Action Group. It's on Facebook. Join us. We need to enlighten 200 million Nigerians to start knowing their rights. All we do is read the Constitution. Go down to www.citizenay.org. Download the Constitution. I do mean, sorry, I'm trying to make sure that people know the information. That's all. I understand what you mean. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much. What indeed, before let's go further because this Saturday election is going to be throughout. It's going to the election gubernatorial. All over the federation in Nigeria, and the problem now is that from A to Z, series of problems, series of allegation and counter allegation from let's as well look at Lagos State. The problem there is there.
Yeah.
In Ogun State, which is the neighboring state, is there.
Yeah.
Going to Oyo, which is the neighboring state, or your state to Ogun State, is there.
Exactly.
Virtually everywhere.
It's everywhere.
As far as Imo State.
Yeah.
Let's quickly look at among some of these states. I want you to use your own discretion. Any of these states, do you foresee any danger or you foresee anything different from what has been happening?
There was a video. There was a video in Akwa Ibom yesterday, and that video it showed an allegation. I'm allowed to say it's an allegation, and I'm not on ground. But all I will say...
Well, let me... Sorry to cut you. If it has to do with any images being posted on social media,
that's why I want
you to discuss about it.
Okay, right.
Just look at from your own point of view. That's as a social commentator, as a Nigerian citizen, you live in Nigeria before coming to the United Kingdom. You basically know the structure, political structure there. There are some certain hotspot. Either you like it or not, come rain, come sunshine for any election. That spot, definitely something will happen.
Yeah. I mean, Lagos is a hot spot straight away. There are people who are, already in the week that's gone, on the streets of Lagos, ballot boxes were burnt, people were beaten, people were chased away. It's going to be a repeat of the same thing. The only way, all I will say to Nigerians is, do be aware. We want you safe. We want you secure. We don't want any loss of life. So if you see thugs trying to stop you from voting and trying to threaten you, get away. But do all you can to vote, but don't risk your life in that process. Unfortunately, the governance that we have should make sure that people in Nigeria should be able to vote freely, securely, safely, and go back to their home. It is, after all, our democratic right to be allowed to vote. And the government should ensure that they have the security around to prevent people from being attacked while they're voting, to prevent people from their ballots snatched and burnt in front of them by a bunch of thugs. So that's all I will say to you. There are so many hotspots. Like I said, Akwa Ibom is one. Lagos State is one. I'm sure something will be happening in Ogun State. The Amechi, the state Amechi, they're going to court now trying to challenge the fact that
River State.
River State, beg your pardon, River State. that they can't field their candidate. So what they're doing, they're going to support. They're saying they're supporting AAC. I mean, we take that with a pinch of salt to a certain amount. Yes, of course, it's great. It means it's good for our candidate. But this is what I'm saying. We got systemic failure in our governance, and that is impacting every structure that we have on the ground in Nigeria. So to say that there is any validity or any reliance, and anybody can place any reliance on any election results here, is simply fantasy.
Okay. The other state that you mentioned actually will make me to let us look at Ogun State. If you can be able to touch both Ogun State and Oyo State respectively, because both of them are very close, and they are immediate neighbors. In Ogun State now, the incumbent governor, the governor Ibikunle Amosun of All Progressive Alliance Congress, is now an elected senator, he's now elected senator, and he's not supporting the candidate of his party.
I was going to say
supporting another candidate, I think, Akinlade. I want you to look at that Ogun State. Apparently, we will come to Oyo State then. Visit Ogun State. Kindly look at the situation. Don't you? Okay, although he was suspended, last week.
Along with Rochas.
Rochas of Korocha, both of them were suspended from the party on that they involve in anti-party activities. I want you to look at that anti-party activities. Look at the issue. What the Ogun State now, is it hotspot? What's going to happen?
I mean, it's a hotspot because
there's nothing going to be happen.
Well, I think it will happen because straight away you have a party within a party in APC, because APC have got their own candidate, and yet Amosun has his own candidate. Is it AM or whatever? I don't quite sure what the name is. APM or something. I'm not quite sure what they're called. But if you saw, when Buhari came to the state on that campaign or the rally that they were doing, what they did was the Amoso camp were throwing stones at Buhari, alleged. They were throwing something. Something was being thrown to the stage, where and Tinubu was livid. Amoso was begging. He was begging, please, in Yoruba, speaking in Yoruba language. All of this stuff. It's going to be a flashpoint because obviously Amoso wants his man to be the governor. APC, the party he represents, wants their man, and isn't that interesting? He is a APC member, starting another party within that party. How come he's not been struck out completely, stripped, not even allowed to run for even the senatorship that he's doing? Because I'm sure that must be against some kind of rules within APC. But hey, be that as it may. So there's definitely going to be flashpoints because, and of course, there's GNI. I've forgotten what, I need to get the name of the guy out who's running for another party. He's going quite well. So there is going to be, in Ogun State, GNI. I need to get the name. So he's quite a vibe, and I think he used to be, if I remember, there's some connection with him, either PDP or APC before, but he's gone out with another party. So he's looking strong in that respect. And of course, let's not forget, we have Eniola Martins of AAC, and she's been doing a lot of campaigning in and around Ogun State, and she's really in the grassroots, reaching Nigerians, talking to them, trying to educate them, and along with her deputy, so they've been doing a lot of sensitization. The only thing that it still boils down back to this issue, the lack of honesty and transparency in INEC, ensuring that the Nigerians right across Nigeria are able to vote without any fear of intimidation by thugs, without any fear of vote rigging or ballot, or even INEC officials thumbing the ballot papers and then putting it in the box and preventing Nigerians from voting. These are real critical issues. I heard something that the INEC officials were saying. Yes, we have to do a review. It was a really bad election. It's not enough. To be honest, Mahmoud Yakubu has a lot to answer for. The election, the figures of people that were supposed to come to the election, to come and vote, it dropped by 30% because they moved it from the date of the election by a further week. And by all accounts, it seems to be the lowest a number of people that voted in elections. So look, Nigerians, what are we talking about? These elections aren't credible. That's what that's the inference one can take from this. It isn't.
Thank you very much in this. We'd like to go to commercial break. When we come back, obviously we will start precisely from where we are going to stop. Commercial break.
Tolu A. Akinyemi, a renowned poet, author, and performer, brings to us Dead Cats Don't Meow, a metrical masterpiece which invokes love and respect for life. Dead Cats Don't Meow is his first published work and third collection in his poetry for the Discerning series, after Dead Lions Don't Roar and Dead Dogs Don't Bark. Tolu shares his gift of writing with people far and wide. Recently, he received an endorsement as a writer with exceptional talent from the Arts Council England. Each poem examines a part of life, a sensation, a reaction, or an emotion. Individually, the verses breathe their own beat, while the collection knits together perfectly to present an idyllic anthology. Dead Cats Don't Meow is written to help you find your own voice in a world with a cacophony of voices. Join Tolu A. Akinyemi at one of the 4 events to celebrate the launch of Dead Cats Don't Meow. Thursday, April 4, 2019, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the Poetry Cafe, the Poetry Society, 22 Betterton Street, Covent Garden, London. Saturday, April 13th, 2019, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Museum Center, Function Room, 8 and 9 Marina Road, Onikan, Lagos, Nigeria. Thursday, May 2, 2019, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. The Leeds and Phil, 23 Westgate Road, Newcastle upon Tyne. Thursday, May 9, 2019, 5:45 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. The Avenue Library and Learning Center, 9 Victoria Avenue East, Blackley, Manchester. RSVP, tolutoludo.com. Dead Cats Don't Meow is available at Waterstones, Barnes & Noble, eBay, Amazon, Patabar, and other outlets.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries, and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.
My daughter-in-law, so how are you planning for my son's birthday? I have to cook up for her. Do you people have ogirisi there? No? It's okay. Okay, let me call you back. Mama Chiji, okay. Hi, so wait a market. Please pack some ogirisi. I am going to visit my son. My daughter-in-law, it's arranged. But you must use original red oil to prepare the soup. What? I'll call you back. Mama Chijo, please include Isio Morocco. My daughter-in-law, everything is now set. But don't forget that gold wristwatch I saw the last time I visited you.
Now you can talk until you tire for just 11 kobo per second. Call all networks in Nigeria and 30 international destinations, including US, UK, China, Canada, and India for just 11 kobo per second. Dial *211# to activate.
That's Silk Bobo.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Sweetheart fruit, what you call èyí tún yàtọ̀ ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ ká má tanra wa ó super ó distinct ó corporate ó dùn wò bẹ́ẹ̀ ló dùn lẹ́nu ó gáyàtà ju bí ẹ ti rò lọ iléeṣẹ́ alára àgbà ìdá kan ló gbé eléyìí jáde fún ìwúlò gbogbo ènìyàn níbi ayẹyẹ sweet heart fruit lórúkọ wọn kó oríṣiríṣi èso fruit papọ̀ lọ́nà ìgbàlódé níbi gbogbo ayẹyẹ àti láti mú gbogbo ayẹyẹ wa dùn wò lójú níbi ayẹyẹ bíi church anniversary naming ceremony housewarming birthday party wedding àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ìyẹn ní iṣẹ́ tiwọn ní sweet heart fruit wọ́n pákéjì ẹ̀ yóò dùn wò lójú tí yóò sì máa fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ tí a bá ń jẹ níbi ayẹyẹ gbogbo àwọn ohun tí ẹ lè jẹ̀gbádùn láti ilé iṣẹ́ wọn nìwọ̀nyí fruit basket fruit arrangement fruit palm tree fruit cocktails smoothie àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀yin náà lè jẹ̀gbádùn gbogbo àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí níbi ayẹyẹ yín tó ń bọ̀ ẹ pè nọ́mbà yìí 07944278 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 07944275 Olúwaṣeun Akínsọ̀hún ni olùdarí àti aláṣẹ Sweet Heart Fruit ẹ̀yin náà ẹ try ẹ̀ lónìí ó dájú wípé ẹ ò ní regret ẹ̀. Sweet Heart Fruit ní kẹ́lọ́.
Okay, welcome back. Before we go on commercial break, we were actually discussing about the election in Ogun State. Yeah. And I do mention that Oyo State is the neighboring state, which is quite close to Ogun State.
Yes.
Now, the incumbent governor is supporting another candidate, which is not a member of his political party.
Yeah.
And many observers strongly believe that this kind of move will definitely jeopardize effort. So what is your take on this?
Well, again, it's pretty much, again, very much like I said about Ogun State. Remember I said to you about what Amosun was doing, anti-party activities, in the sense that he's picked somebody from another party, which I presume he set up in Ogun State, against his own party. I mean, this guy shouldn't be running. I'm sure that, that should be even INEC rules. That should be even, surely INEC should be having something to say about this. They shouldn't even be allowed to be contesting as senators, as they both gone. Yes, yeah. In Ajimobi's case, he lost out in that contest. But then, isn't it interesting? He said, "Oh, I saw a piece he did live, whereby he said, oh, I delivered 2 senators out of 3 to the to APC, and I also delivered the governorship." And I'm thinking, but hang on, that's double speak. You also had a candidate running against that APC. I mean, what's happening there? So I mean, these are things that we should really, be asking ourselves. What if people? I mean, these guys seem to be. They think that they are above the law, and that's actually that's not right. And it sets a series of terrible precedents that would mean that future elections, people say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So INEC has got to be really sharp on this. And there should be clear APC, within APC, who are the ruling party, to have, anti-party activities going on and still endorsing those people as APC is confusing.
Now, still on your state.
Mm-hmm.
Governor Ajimobi has actually lost the
Senate, Senate seat that was going for.
Seat. Now, but now the main issue now is that the former governor, Rashid Ladoja,
yes,
and also another former governor, now the gladiators now,
yeah,
Otumba Alao Akala.
Yes.
Otumba Alao Akala's party has endorsed, had crossed over to APC, and is going to work for APC. And his own constituency, the Ogumosho, their constituency.
Yeah.
Then coming from Ladoja also, another powerful politician again in Oyo State now,
Yeah.
is forming alliance with the PDP. So now the whole battleground is now drawn between APC and PDP.
Yeah.
Looking at the background of both Ladoja and Alawa Akala, both of them had large followers.
Yes.
So looking at what is going to happen on Saturday, and Ibadan also is one of another hot spot.
Very much.
So
Very much.
looking
so.
at it, what do you think will happen?
Well, I mean, I'm afraid the kind of politics that we practice, both APC and PDP, is largely combative and thuggish. You know, it's winner takes all, with no regard for the consequences and the impact on the people on the ground of the Oyo State people. They're not thinking about Oyo State people. They're only thinking about the prize. The both of them will be thinking, Lajada will be thinking, I must be the governor. Akala will be thinking, you know what, I must be the governor, come what may. And that's the tussle that they will be doing. But let's not forget, we have Laoshun as a governorship candidate, AAC governorship candidate, and he was on channels. And he spoke eloquently about, the plans he had, all framed around the issue of Spicer heat and making sure that the needs of Oyo residents or your electorates are met. So these, under normal circumstances, if it been possible that we had truly credible elections, I would expect that Laos to feature strongly. Because it's been, crisscrossing across, Oyo State and meeting many people, and mobilizing his team to really work for AAC. And as you've seen, where there has been to Oyo State on a number of occasions as well. So whilst the narrative will be it's a battle between APC and PDP, which is what people are trying to state. The fact of the matter is on the ground, and one of the things that AAC is good at is grassroots connections. We connect with people, we reach with them. There's no exchange of money involved as far as AAC is concerned. And that's the beauty of it. We come with you with the plans and ideas, and we're trying to, engage with all your electorates to make sure that they vote for change. They vote for to take back the state from a bunch of looters. From people who are not delivering on their promises.
Let's go to Imo State.
Yes.
Governor Aro Chokorocha has actually been suspended
as well.
Also.
Yes.
And his own issue is always born to the same allegation of what they levied against
Amosun, Ajimobi.
Let's look at it because he has been suspended, and there are some powerful politicians and mobilization. For instance, last week the women said no, they are not accepting that suspension. They too, there are some kind of announcement that they too they are going to ban Comrade Adams which is the party, the chairman
for APC, yes,
being banned in Imo State. Another statement being issued here and there. So, what do you think is going to happen regarding the election of Imo State on Saturday?
Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I would urge Imo electorate to be very wary. Vote, go and vote, but keep your eyes open, because Rochas is trying to bring in his son-in-law or whatever in that issue, and then will APC have their man, and that's inter-party issues. So, but most of all, unfortunately, I want the Imo electorates to be aware of the likelihood of violence, of ballot box snatching, of INEC officials doing thumbing and denying them the vote whilst they're saying, okay, they're rigging the elections. So it's more of the same. Honestly, all over the country, it's more of the same. I mean, then how can it be in a country that a governor cannot go and vote at an election because of violence, and then we say that election is free and fair? That's a contradiction in itself, isn't it? That's what we're facing. So I would love to be able to sit here as a Nigerian and put my hands on my chest and say, you know what? I am proud of my governance, and I'm proud that the INEC people have made Nigerians proud. And you know what? If I was able to say that, Do you know what that would mean for Nigerians? It would mean that Nigerians would be able to, on the strength of that statement alone, go out and confidently vote, knowing that they are safe, they are protected, that and there'll be no interference of thugs coming in, ballot box snatching, all of that stuff. But in all honesty, nobody can say that with a straight face in this current elections, based on what happened last week. We can't say that.
So, what is your own opinion? Do you think that this Saturday gubernatorial election is not going to be free and fair?
Well, judging by what happened last week, the figures were cooked up last week. I'm sorry to say that. That's the only way one can.
International observers, they said
they might look, but the African, like I was saying to you, camera, the African observers, the AU observers, have a different opinion on this. So to say the international observers have said that, and that's the end. No, we need to look at the whole discussion and really begin to. There must be some kind of doubt when even African Union, who's part of and of which we are part of, you know, the observers are saying, well, no, actually we cannot confidently say the elections here are credible, you know. So for me, it leaves one to say a man that went to 34 states only ends up with 33,000 votes in an election where it was rigged. There is all kinds of ramifications in this. And if we are going to be honest with ourselves as Nigerians, we need to start looking at our structures. Be it INEC, be it our governance, the three arms of government, are they truly independent? Are they influenced? Is corruption is playing look, corruption is writ large in Nigeria, period. It is writ large. And if we're going to change that atmosphere, those in governance have got to get engaged with communicating and connecting with Nigerians and respecting the citizens of Nigeria and not treating them like an afterthought. Oh, well, you know what? In Lagos State, officers were busy, they're fighting over bags of rice that a certain APC governorship person was throwing out to them with his name on it. You know, is that how you treat an electorate? Is that how you treat your fellow Nigerians? I mean, let's look at this. We are citizens of Nigeria. That means that when we are within that geographical location, the government should make it a job, number one priority, to look after Nigerians. Make sure that all the interests, all of the benefits of all revenue, or untold mineral resources, impacts positively Nigerians. And Nigerians should feel the impact in the sophisticated level of infrastructure that we would have in place, as against what we have now, which is dilapidated infrastructure. Nothing works. There's no health care. There is no security. I can't put it any. I wish I had something better to say about Nigeria, and we will in future with Omo Elishowore. And the current vote, what I would like Nigerians to do, please, and this is my own direct opinion here, vote for, as much as you can, AAC, because the party, we have our governorship candidate, our House of Assembly, they are going to actualize the Spicer Heat Plan on the ground. The fight for the presidency will be for another day. It will be for another day, but in the meantime, what I'm saying to you now is both APC and PDP, I'm afraid they are not interested in the lives of ordinary Nigerians.
Excuse me, sir. I don't want you to go into area of promoting the party. This issue is like looking at the situation of things that's actually on the ground. And the situation whereby any other parties are being represented.
I'm with you.
I want you to make it some kind of your own view. Right?
That's why I said in my own opinion.
What is on the ground, allegation of being given rise to some people. I condemn it. It's not something that I will support. But it's still born of the same issue that we should be been saying on a number of occasions, that if the politicians are ready to perpetrate any act, what about the electorate? Why should they even collecting? That is it. That should be some kind of. Do you support the opinion that the electorate should be educated? They should let them know that collecting all this kind of item is like you are throwing away. Drawing yourself back to another 4 years There are credible candidates, credible parties that people will come with lots of ideas, good ideas, fantastic manifestos. I don't think people follow it. I believe that the politicians, although they need to be condemned, but I strongly believe that the electorate too need to be educated, or perhaps, what is your own view again? Do you think as the electorate that that need to be educated, or the politicians, because blaming politicians, keep on blaming them. Things are not changing. So it's sad, and I'm worried about this development. So let me hear your own opinion on that, because it's like we are coming closer to the end of the program.
What I will say, the first thing I will say, I'd like to say, well, I don't know, guys. The first thing I'd like to say is that, look, Nigerians, our politicians, they are the people, they come from us, the people. So I will say that. They are a mirror of who we are as a collective, to a large extent. But having said that, I now move to the issue of educating Nigerians. The last 50 years have told me, I'm going to switch that off now, so I beg your pardon. The last 58 years have told me that as far as Nigeria is concerned, as far as our people are concerned, our entire governance and the whole structure has been engaged in preventing Nigerians from knowing their constitutional rights. They encourage our youths, our children go to school in Nigeria, and the options that they have are from the age of 4. We go to Sunday school if you're a Christian, and you go to Quranic studies, Arabic classes from the age of 4 in Nigeria. This happens right across Nigeria, but there is no thought about teaching those kids as young as 4 about their constitutional rights. So what the kids grow up doing, believing, is all about the religion, and nothing to do whatsoever with their rights as human beings, as citizens of Nigeria. And that means that now their belief system, their structures, their way of thinking is influenced from that early age. And that is what we are now suffering from. The consequences of our government, our successive government failing to to empower Nigerians to know their rights and to know about how to challenge those in power, is what we are suffering from the effects of that now. So the people who are now adults now, they are still very much like children, because they don't have access to the right information to be able to make the right decisions as to who to vote for. So when somebody gives them 5,000 naira, they just think, I'm going to eat now. I don't know if I'm going to eat next week, or if I get a bag of rice, or a bag of oil, a pot of oil, or clothes, or all of this stuff. They just think short term, because that's what they've been conditioned to do. This is why I talk about encouraging every Nigerian, please download the Constitution, start sharing it. And I'm also advocating that every Nigerian in all our states, we need to be teaching the Constitution in our local languages. If you're in Yoruba area, teach it in Yoruba. If you are in Igbo, we do it in Igbo. If you're in Hausa, we do it in Hausa. And all of that will begin to change our mindset, because our mindset, I'm afraid to say, has been badly corrupted by this idea that if you belong to Christian, you are closer to God. If you belong to Islam, you are closer to God. But once you are closer to God, who is taking care of your infrastructure on the ground for your day-to-day life? This government, successive governments, including this one, they're not doing it. So for me, there's a lot that there's a role for the diasporans, and I'm asking diasporans specifically to get involved with me, and let's educate our fellow Nigerians. We need to reach 774 local government areas, 774, to get them to start knowing their rights and know about how to go about applying pressure on those they put in power from the local council right to the president. That's the only way. And that's the only way we can instill accountability in those we elect. Because if we are all knowing this constitution before we even go into office, we are less likely to be corrupt.
Thank you very much, AY. Before we'll draw the curtain of this program today, I want you to give the advice to the electorate that this forthcoming election, that this gubernatorial and the House of Assembly election on Saturday. Your advice to them, I want you to give them the advice.
Well,
draw the cut.
Well, fellow Nigerians, in the elections coming, what I would like you to do is please do all you can, provided your safety is your #1 priority, your safety. We need you safe. We need you secure. Then the next thing, cast your vote. Whoever you choose to vote for, be sure in your mind that that infrastructure that you want in your local area, that person will deliver it within a short time. I'm talking 3 to 6 months from the time of this election. Secondly, once you cast your vote, you have to become your own electoral polling agent in your area. Stay behind. Watch what INEC is doing. Take pictures. Take pictures. If anybody threatens you, obviously don't. If they come with a gun, and unfortunately, that's another issue. The Nigerians should be made to feel secure within Nigeria. It shouldn't be that people are pointing guns at fellow Nigerians and think that is how you run a governance. This is another issue we have in Nigeria. Nigerians should be protected by Nigerian military and the Nigerian police, not attacking Nigerian people. That's a major issue we have to deal with. Again, that goes down to the issue of reorientating Nigerians. So, but in essence, what I would say to you as a Nigerian, please, if they give you 5,000 naira and you take it and you vote for that party, you won't get the infrastructure that you're looking for. You won't. Pure and simple. So please think about your choices. Make sure you understand that collecting that money means that you will never get the infrastructure in that area. You are better off voting for parties that are telling you that we cannot give you money, but we are promising you to put in place the infrastructure and the healthcare.
Thank you very much, Sizi. On behalf of everyone in the studio, all the people that make this program to be possible today, we sincerely thank the executive producer, Mr. Ade Thomas, all the entire staff of Heritage Television here in London. Our own advice is that go out there and vote peacefully, and when you cast your vote, just maintain the peace and orderly manner at the poll. Then go back to your respective home quietly, and we wish Nigerians successful at the poll, a peaceful election, and may God continue to be with every one of us. So on behalf of all the crew, my name is Oladeji Ibrahim Dawodu. I'm signing off. Bye-bye. Until next week when we bring another edition of your lovely program, Broadview. I take this opportunity to welcome citizen AY. Thank you for your coming.
Thank you.
We believe that when we invite you next time, you'll be glad to be with us.
Yes.
Until next week when we come into your main room, I'm saying bye-bye for now.
My daughter-in-law, so how are you planning for my son's birthday? I have to cook for her. Do you people have ogirisi there? No? It's okay. Okay, let me call you back. Mama Chiji, okay. Hi, sir, wait a market. Please pack some ogirisi. I am going to visit my son. My daughter-in-law, it's arranged. But you must use original red oil to prepare the soup. What? I'll call you back. Mama Chijo, please include Isio Morocco. My daughter-in-law, everything is now set. But don't forget that gold wristwatch I saw the last time I visited you.
Now you can talk until you tire for just 11 kobo a second. Call all networks in Nigeria and 30 international destinations, including US, UK, China, Canada, and India for just 11 kobo per second. Dial *211# to activate.
That's it, boo-boo.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.